Welcome back to the Dangerous and Focus podcast. Today we're joined by Mr. Rob Lipsett. Okay, Mr. Rob Lipsett, welcome to the Dangerous and Focus podcast. How are you?
I'm fantastic, Shawnee. Thanks so much for having me on. And today's just a big moment, long time coming, because I believe me and you kind of started out in this very shop, together in our own industries, respectively, be in the fitness industry, you in the barber industry. Yeah. And it's just crazy to be sitting here with you. So thanks so much.
Not at all. It's the whole idea behind the podcast is for myself to try and get to know new people who I met at the start of the cut and sew journey, people like yourself that came into the basement, and just interesting characters in Dublin. And you're obviously a name that I had to chat to. I'm a major fan. I don't want to fanboy too much.
I'm a fan of you. I'm a fanboy of you.
I think it's great, and we've humble beginnings. Obviously, loads of people would know you. I'm a little bit known around Dublin in the barbering scene. But for anyone that mightn't know or listen to this, would you tell us a little bit about, Rob, where you came from, kind of where you are now, and just your general starting in life in Dublin, Ireland?
Let's do it. First of all, you're the king of the barber scene, right?
Thank you.
You are putting it lightly there. But so me, I came up from about 30 minutes ago. Okay. I just came up from 30 minutes away. I just drove from home there. And so it's funny how, you go far in life, but you always end up coming back. But so I started out, I went to school. I was always terrible academically, bottom of the year. Wow. And then I just about made it into college, into DIT. And again, academics were not a strong point for me. I was absolutely terrible. And I ended up failing first year college twice.
Yeah.
So they said, do you want to repeat the year? I said, I'm looking like Billy Madison right now. I'm the oldest kid in the class.
Yeah.
And I said, Rob, you need to pick something that you're actually going to stick to.
Okay.
Because right now you're failing at absolutely everything. You're lost in life. You've no direction. And you need to stop following what society wants you to follow. And you need to do what you know you need to do. And for me, that was fitness. And so I was watching all these guys in America, Christian Guzman, Max Tuning, all those guys making a killing of fitness, mainly on YouTube. And I said, there's no one in Ireland. This is kind of like why it's like you.
Pioneers, I would say, of our crafts in our country.
Exactly. And I said, there's no one in Ireland who is doing fitness vlogs, probably because we're so afraid of what the next person will say.
1,000,000%.
And I said, I've got nothing to lose. I've got no job, no connections to get a job, no college degree. I've got nothing but an iPhone and an interest in fitness. So I said, I'm going to pick that up. I'm going to film my first video just like what these guys do and see where it takes me. And now I think, coming up to 500,000 subscribers later.
I'm watching closely. It's nearly there.
It's my big goal this year, we'll talk about it, is to get that 500,000. But so, fast forward, that was 9 years ago. So fast forward that, here we are. But that's a very summarized version. There's been so many ups and downs.
Of course. So me, of course, being a follower, a subscriber, and just an all around, I'm in awe of what you do. But I love your very humble beginnings to your approach to where you're at now. And I kind of want to know loads about you. So when I envision, if we take the two of us back, I'm 36 now. I think you're 31. Yeah. So I was 26 starting cut and sew. It was kind of post Celtic Tiger. I did hairdressing. I was terrible in school academically. I didn't do well. I always want to kind of know about people I would regard as successful. When I seen you at the start, I'm trying to think really, what was your first memory of cut and sew or coming to the shop? Did I reach out to you, or was it just people? Did you know some friends coming to cut and sew to get fades? Or it's kind of cloudy for me, that memory. I remember you coming in one time, but can you shine some light, or do you even remember?
No, I do remember. Yeah. So I remember loving the branding. And that's what got to me. Like, I was usually just going to an old man barber,
were you a man of convenience, like wherever's closest?
Yeah.
That's very common. So don't take any
Exactly. I was going to, I won't name, just someone.
I know where you're going to.
Yeah, exactly. And, I saw your branding. I saw the lads who were, working in here. They were just cool looking dudes. And I said, that's what attracted me. I'm going to go in here. And my first memory was I did a vlog. I went to like Fly Fit Mackin Street, and then I came in here and I was like watching it the other day, and it's so crazy. We're babies.
I know. It's funny. So I remember seeing you, and then while you were in the shop, and to this day, we may as well drop some names. We've had some really big people in the shop over the years. I think I used to do Dermot Kennedy's hair for years before he got famous. I did a couple of WWE lads and footballers, and they'd be in the shop and there just wasn't this space for young men to get a haircut, but to make an appointment. And for me, I remember when people come in, you're the only celebrity. I hate to use that, but I mean this a star, because anyone we've had in the shop, nobody has ever asked for a photo. And I remember you were actually stopped. I was like, what is happening here? There was people asking you for photos. So from the start of your YouTube channel, would that be your, apart from doing online coaching, what is your very first, I know your story basically from having a side hustle to going into online coaching. Would that be your first step into your own business, or to be employing yourself?
Absolutely. So my first time I ever made money online was from an ebook for 20 quid, right?
That was your very first.
That was the first PayPal transaction that hit. I was like, we've made it, baby.
20 quid.
20 bucks. I'm quitting my job. And so I was working in like retail, 9 to 5. There's so many different jobs.
Loads of just, nothing you cared about.
Oh man, like I'd be there for 3 months and get sacked and then go elsewhere, all over the place. And then on the side, I was always just crazy about fitness. I still am. And so I made a website on, God, I think it was
Lipsett
WordPress.
Fitness.
That's it. Still have it. LipsettFitness.com.
Yeah.
You've done your research.
Of course.
And so I said, I got onto like, I think it was on like Fiverr. You know, I found a web developer in Brazil. I said, can you make me a website that takes payments? And he's like, yeah, sure. Always crashed, like absolutely so slow. But I wrote a ton of I wrote basically everything you need to know about getting into the gym with, fitness. There was one for training and one for nutrition. And then, so I put that into kind of a PDF. I got a graphic designer to make it look fancy.
I've scrolled through it. So what age were you? About 22?
I would have been like maybe 21. Yeah, about 21.
Just for relevance.
Yes. And so I made that and I put it on my website, and then I'm writing loads of Facebook articles. I'm making loads of YouTube videos. And of course, it's very small. So I'm like, that little traffic, when I got that one sale, I was like, boom, bingo, there we go.
Isn't it? So for me as well, I remember at the very start of Cut and Sew, when I went from working in a hairdresser's to going into the basement of the very first space and getting the first euro, I actually remember that the feeling of making my first, I suppose €20 or whatever the amount is, that to me nearly means more than like, this week was our biggest, most successful week in business.
No way.
But
that is wild.
This week, or Christmas week,
and
but the difference is I never forget the money when I stopped working for somebody else. And there was a light bulb moment, which is what I call, for me, when I did that, I was like, why the hell am I working for somebody else? And it's not something that is for everybody. So what kind of leads me to the next question is risk versus reward. I was very secure in my own job in terms of I knew I could cut hair, I could make a good wage, but I would kind of be limited. So did you feel like you had much of a risk factor when you're saying, I'm working these 9 to 5s, I don't love it, I love fitness? And then what was kind of like the, Becca, I'm going to throw it all into the fitness thing. Was there a bit of a light bulb moment? Was there many of them, or was there lots of failed moments at the start?
So first of all, zero risk. I was like, fuck this. I was like, I'm going to, just be so miserable if I don't take this leap. So I was like, I'm not the loser. I absolutely hate this job. And so I remember the moment.
Were you delivering food?
No, this was when I was working. Oh yeah, kind of. I don't want to name.
No, don't throw anyone under the bus.
They're actually nice. They're a nice company and they're doing really well. But so I was.
It wasn't for you
in an office environment. And and so for weeks I was building up the courage to walk into my boss's office and be like, look, I'm like 21, 22. I need to just go do my own thing.
Yeah.
And it took me weeks. Like I'd get up to do it at the end of work and I'd bitch out every single time. And there was one day, like, I think he kind of like gave out to me for being late or leaving early or something. And then I was like, all right, look, tomorrow I'm going to do it. And then I walked into my boss and I said, look, I'm just going to go full time with YouTube, online coaching, fitness. And he was super cool about it. He was probably going to fire me anyway.
Okay.
What a relief.
Oh, really? I'm so sad to see you go.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, get rid of that P45.
Oh, stop.
But so he was super cool about it. And then after that, it was actually the scariest thing ever. So, I've quit the job and then I've got this week and I haven't told my family yet.
So you're not like, oh shit, what's happening? No, you weren't. You're just like, I'll see you later job. Yeah.
And so like, I had like I think I had maybe 20, 30,000 subscribers at this stage.
On YouTube, which is huge.
Which is so hard, So I was like, I think I got kind of lucky at the start,
We were a good time we were.
Oh, great time. But so I had like this week, and all of a sudden, for the first time in so long, I've got a free week. And I'm like, okay, I've been putting 20% into this. Now let's see what happens when I put 100% in. And so that week, I'm making like 7, 8, 9 videos. And things just start.
Were you doing merch then as well, like the LF?
I was.
Because I bought a stringer. I remember being like, I want to get into the gym. And I think you're very transparent. You're very, what you see is what you get. And I love that about you, because I think people that when they see you on a platform, whether it be TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, or whatever, and I know you from Dublin, I've actually seen you get people come up to me like, hey Rob, what's up? What's the story? Can I get a photo with you? And we just spoke about it briefly, which we shouldn't have. What does that feel like to be kind of put into, you're putting yourself into the public figure or out into the public? There's obviously good and bad, but would it be more positive than negative, I would imagine? Or is there some kind of shitty moments as well when people can like be bullying you or kind of say something during the night out? And how do you deal with that side of things?
So I'm very lucky about the audience I built and how positive I am. Okay, so think about it, right? Look at my demographic, 90% male, all guys in their 20s and 30s who are into fitness, they're into entrepreneurship, they're into positive thinking. They're the nicest followers audience you can get.
There's no Karens really.
There's no Karens. There's zero Karens. There's hardly any chicks. So it's just a whole bunch
of dudes. There's no chicks coming.
I'm like, started lifting, get girls, just a bunch of dudes. And so when you build your channel or your audience around gossip and drama, you're going to lay down with the dogs, you wake up with the fleas, right? You're going to
capture that one.
Exactly. So you're going to be, you're going to get online hate. They're going to turn on you like that. But I've built my audience around, such great self-improvement, more or less. So I get very little hate. The only thing I get, which I'm so grateful for, is actually constructive criticism. When people like actually leave a nice comment like, hey, you should do this, you should do that. And you can tell by the language, like they ain't hating on me.
Of course.
If someone does leave a comment like wanker, dickhead, I'm like, this is like a bot. This is AI. This isn't even real. You're not a real person. You're not saying anything. So all of the interactions I have online are very positive. And then in person, you never meet a hater in real life. Even better.
I know. So for us, my role has changed massively in cutting. So it's like, if I was to stay cutting hair 15 fades a day, 5 days a week, I'd burn out. It's like I'm a professional athlete in my career, like
barber athlete.
I'm a barber. I've won awards. There's trophies in the shop, and I would get burned out. And it's very. I know my power is a lot of my personality. Am I the best barber? No, but I do my best. So for me, what drives me is pretty much when I cut somebody's hair, I get to make them look better. And more importantly, they feel better. And it's a space that I think I would give anyone the Pepsi challenge with myself. If they come in and get a cut with me or someone in cutting so, it'd be very hard to get a better one or anything like that. So what does your typical your lifestyle seems to be all over the place. I'm jetting around. I don't really know much of what your day to day is. Can you kind of maybe break down an average week where you're not like competing at the highest level or private jets all over the world? Because people want to see, obviously, we see the highlight reels, but I'd love to see the honest Rob where it's like, you know what, man, I wake up, I do this, I'm, very disciplined in areas. An average week, how would you say it is? And what's your ideal week as well?
Absolutely. So average day, and when I'm at home in the villa, is I wake up usually around 6 a.m. Naturally, I don't set an alarm. It's just what time I typically wake up at. And then so for the first 3 to 4 hours of the day, I'll wake up, my morning routine, right? All these people, these gurus, they're doing half an hour morning routines. It's bullshit. It's complete bullshit, okay? The best morning routine is the one that allows you to get to work as soon as possible. So I will wake up, I'll just chug a load of water. I will caffeinate myself enough to kill a horse. To the absolute max. I'll take whatever vitamins, minerals I need to take. Maybe another coffee, and I won't eat usually for the first few hours just because for mainly mental clarity. You know,
Wow.
so and then I get straight to my
So you're not
desk.
actually fasting like per se. You're not like actively trying to wait till a certain time. You're just for mental clarity. You want to be.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm
yeah,
not
okay.
like, you know, oh, I have to wait till 1 p.m. But so usually for the first couple of hours of my day, I'm hydrated, I'm caffeinated, and I'm doing the most important shit in the day. Usually something creative. So for
Okay.
example, you know, if I need to record a video, if I need to draft up an email that needs a very calculated response, if I need to do some editing, I delegate for the day.
The
I
hardest
get all my
task
replies.
first. Usually, is that what I
Eat the frog first. Eat
Okay.
the frog first. If you eat a frog, you just do it at the start of the day because it's miserable.
God, there's some great ones in here.
Yeah. And so basically, so that's the first 3-4 hours I get the main shit done. Then I'll go to the gym and I'll usually work out for 1 hour. And then about 30 to 45 minutes after that, I'll record gym content. So,
So when you're so what we see on YouTube, it's like you've already done the
no,
hour
I've
long.
already done it. That's why people are like,
Don't believe everything
yeah,
you see
there
online.
you go.
You okay?
Yeah. So sometimes
I totally believe. I was like, how is this guy doing this?
yeah.
I'm like,
So if I get a videographer that day, then I'll just record the real workout. But sometimes, or oftentimes, I think it can really distract you trying to set up for the perfect angle.
and you wouldn't always draft in a videographer, so it's like a lot of it is actually a credit to yourself.
Yeah.
You do a lot, like that's what it started in the car or before you had the camera. I'm like, Rob, what camera is it? You're like, it's an SL D35. Like, and I was like, what microphone? I used to be wrecking your head online.
We've all been there. It's such a complicated world, cameras and everything.
Of course.
You know, yeah.
But with you, so then if you didn't draft it in, okay, you edit it. So that brings us up to kind of, we all love food on your channel, or I do anyway. I'm
Yeah,
just
that's the most
a
popular,
big follower.
most popular videos.
So what you eat and what I'm like, okay, what's he eating? How's he in this amazing peak performance shape and stuff? So then you have food.
Yes.
Is that must be, do you look at it like fuel or do you kind of reward yourself? Because unfortunately, I'm a little bit over my ideal weight, but I actually get enjoyment out of food. But the wrong stuff, as you can tell. I'm not shredded yet. But how do you look at food? Is it purely fuel? Because it must be scientifically, or you get a little bit of enjoyment?
That's a great question. And so really you want to strike a balance between both, okay? You want to get something that is nutrient dense, it hits your macros, but if you're not making food that tastes good, you're going to say, fuck this. You need to eat something you love every single day. And nowadays with like, you know, the amount of recipes you see on like Instagram
it's
and
overwhelming.
It is overwhelming.
And it's all trying to be like make bad stuff, but the healthy way.
Yeah, but you know, to be fair, like nowadays, there's nothing you can't make that isn't like thousands of calories. Like you can make a pizza for 600 calories. You can make a burger for 600 calories. You can make nachos. Like there's nothing you really can't fit into your diet if you're really craving
If you really
it.
want,
You just do have to be a little bit creative, and you do have to take time to learn a few recipes. So, you know, food is fuel, of course. You need to be eating the right amounts for your goals, but it's got to taste good. And that's why an overlooked thing, okay, we all learn about our form in the gym. You know, we learn about the right exercise to do. You need to learn how to be a good chef. I'm telling you, everyone in the fitness industry knows how to cook. And it's actually it's a basic life skill, but the amount of people you'd be shocked that can't cook for shit.
Yeah, I like 4 boiled eggs today, 2 slices of brown toast, tracked it in my fitness pal. Obviously came, had a coffee, then I ate like 2 bits out of a selection box. I'm like, God damn, these abs aren't going to make it themselves. But you forget, and then I was like, oh my God, I didn't scan the barcode and I didn't scan it to get whatever, to find out what nutrients are in. So fitness for me, continue on your day. So post gym, you have food. It's something you do probably look forward to because you're like,
oh, I'm starving at this stage.
Yeah, you're like, right, I've worked hard, but that's one of my questions. Do you really see it? It is fuel, but there must be, I feel like you're a foodie.
Yeah.
You and Linda, I'm just like, what are they eating? Screen grab. I'm like, okay, there's a train of sushi. Yeah. Look at this bad boy steak. Before coming to Ireland, I was like, okay, just steak and eggs, was it? And avocado maybe. You're like, and it is doable if you can do it.
Yes.
So after you're fed, okay, your day then, you're already up since say 6.
Yeah.
You've had, this could be 2
It's
o'clock.
It's at 2 o'clock, yeah.
Do you have meetings on generally you know, when do you wind down or do you?
So the next 3 to 4 hours, it's going to be shit that I find easy. You know, if someone wants to jump on a Zoom call, you know, whatever, just get all that stuff done. I need to go run some errands. It's kind of the second work block of the day, and it's kind of just mindless, mundane shit.
Would you be quite visual or no? Are you more like, I'm very visual, what I do? I need to write it down. Like journaling has changed my life. Not like, dear diary, I am a good human. It's just like, here's X, Y, and Z. This shit is what I need to do. I need to have a conversation with this guy. I need to visit this store. I need to drop that off. I need to record a podcast or whatever. So would you be quite visual, or are you kind of like, I imagine you'd have this in the office in Villa Lipsett, just like a year planner with every day color coded this, or is that not what it is?
That thing right there, I saw you with the notebook and I was like, my man, that is it. No, if you write something down your phone is the one that distracts you, okay?
I hate the phone for that. I don't do notes. I do notes, but they never get done as quick as the journal.
No, so if it's journal, first of all, it's physical, you're writing it down. And do you know what's actually disgraceful in today's day and age? Go ask someone, when's the last time you wrote a sentence? People don't write anymore. People don't write. So I make it my duty to write as much as possible. So I'm a to-do list guy just like that. I'll write down in bullet points what I need to get done that day.
What? Oh my God, this quote, it's so mad this has come full circle. I used to write down something you used to say, and I think you know what it is. It's like when you write down something, it needs a plan, and it becomes, what's the quote? There's a quote you have. Do you know what I'm talking about?
It becomes real, becomes physical, and you put it out in the world.
So is that what it was? Was there a bit of a more of a serious quote? Where when a plan becomes into the physical, then that becomes a reality, and that's how it happens. Do you know which one I'm trying to get at?
I can't get the exact quote, but that's
it. But it's like, if you take it from here, so for something, you're speaking into it, but you're actually physically putting it in because you're taking it from here to the notepad.
That's exactly it.
I'll get it. It's like mapped out how you do it. Everything I've written down in journals, from the layout of this shop or any of the cut and sews, I sketch it out, and it's actually taking it from my vision to the physical world, and then it just actually has to happen. And I do a lot of self work on reading at the minute, and the whole idea of this podcast is for me to try and meet people who influence me and to influence my life. And I think I have a natural ability to connect with people. And from my own humble beginnings, when I started cut and sew, I remember kind of thinking, like, why did I do this? So I was like, I didn't want to work. I didn't really enjoy people telling me what to do. I had really good bosses, but I had also shitty people. And when I made that first 20 quid, that ignited something in me that just has never gone away, really. And I want to talk, if you don't mind, about a business side of things, because that comes into it. People don't see how much you have to like pay your VAT, pay your accountant, have all your receipts in order. Like, that's a job in itself. So do you have a team like Rob Lipsett? Is it like you and Miss Lipsett, a future Miss Lipsett? Or like, what's your team like? Or who's the people around you? Because it's, from what we see, I feel like this guy has a very small circle, if any. I know you've lots of friends and followers, but what's your kind of circle like, or your closest?
For sure. So to finish off the day in the life
thing.
In the life, so after
we can edit
the
this
3 or 4 hours, I do the shitty work block too, and then I have dinner and I clock off for the day. All notifications on my phone shut off.
What?
And I relax in the evening, and that's
Netflix and chill like the rest of us.
Netflix and chill. That's it.
Okay, and maybe have a dip in the pool.
Oh yeah, no, I do.
Of course.
Yeah, that's it.
All this hard work.
Life could be worse. You got to enjoy the pool. But so that's my day. But then so on to putting systems in place.
Yeah.
Okay. So 2014, I began. And for 4 years, it was pretty much just me, a one-man army. And then in 2018, I said, I'm getting super stressed. I'm getting overwhelmed. And if I want to take things to the next level, scale, as the finance bros say, if I want to take things to the next level, I'm going to have to outsource and get a team in place. So the first hire, or the first, person I brought on board, you just did a podcast with him, was Ben Keeley. And I think, like, in today's day and age, I think a videographer is the first person you need on board.
You know what?
That's more important than a PA,
Yeah, I thought that, and it's like, shout out to the lads, of course, Sam, but like, content for us, when we were growing, it was so organic. Cut and sew, we were the largest growing, and it was only a couple of thousand, but we used to hit, I remember the blocks used to go up 500, 1,000, 1,500, 5,000 followers. We have a YouTube channel, and it's kind of at 4,000, which I think is actually huge.
That's massive.
People start now.
No, that's huge, Shawnee. Honestly, that's massive.
But I didn't continue that and stay consistent with that. But with Instagram, we kind of plateaued, so to speak. But now I was like, if we don't continue to evolve, change the logo, the aesthetics of the shop, like, I'm not going to wear or have the same haircut as I did 10 years ago. Styles change.
I do.
Well, maybe that's because we started 10 years ago. I'm not really selling cut and sew hair. But I'm not going to be rocking the old haircuts. I used to have like the spicer, like mullet and whatever, and the crop and all. But for me, we've changed and evolved. And with Cut and Sew, I think that's so important. But like, you are your brand. So does that come with a bit of pressure as well, or expectations, or how do you, is there work-life balance, or is that kind of a myth for someone in your busy life? You know what I mean?
So I actually, when I put these systems in place, I was there was no work-life balance before that.
Okay.
And I was like, I need to do something, or else like I might as well just be back working that 9 to 5 that I hated. So the first person I hired was a videographer, and then I put together, so coaching is still my main source of income, and it was at the time. And so I hired a team in New Zealand to develop me an app. And, I still have the same team to this day. And so that was in 2018. And that automated everything. It's made improvements every single year. But even at the time, I was kind of, again, a bit of a pioneer in the fitness app game. I was one of the first people to do it. It was called Lipsett Fitness at the time. Now it's called Game Plan, a little bit slicker, nice username,
you've
clean.
Evolved. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. But that was a real big moment in me automating things and getting a lot of my life back. So
working smarter. Yeah. Or working hard. Yeah, working smarter.
Exactly. So, that came with graphic designer, an app developer, marketing team, just everything you can really think of. And so, nowadays I got like 4 editors, videographers that I can kind of pick and choose from whenever I need it. I got the huge app
So there's
team.
people on the payroll.
There's people on the payroll, and that's kind of freaks me out.
Yeah, but people should see that, because I'm like, to grow this, there's obviously a lot of work goes into it. And I see a lot of people throwing around. There's a TikTok guy I follow, Damien Broderick, lovely guy.
Yeah,
and he's he's just, people think it's just a click and let's get dressed. And I'm like, man, like he's come in as a customer of Cut and Sew. He supports a lot of local businesses, but he's like, people don't realize the work that goes into him. And he's a team now. I bumped into him at a charity event. I was there supporting my girlfriend, or my fiance now. And I was like, wow, this is a lovely guy. And I was like, hey, man, he's hit 1 million, like Instagram and TikTok. Bro. Like he grew in like a year.
Yeah, reels are crazy.
Reels are crazy. Yeah. And he was saying you need a team. And it's like me. I like to surround myself with better people, or the best people I can. If you want to be a millionaire, hang around with millionaires, etc. So with your team and circle, are you sacred to it? Do a lot of people trying to come into your life, and you're like, oh man, I can't, I'm just too busy. Like, I'm sorry if it's Christian Guzman or, whoever it is, how do you allow yourself, like what would it be, your moral judgment to let people into your life? Are you very select with like?
Yeah, usually they pretty much have to be a mutual friend.
Yeah.
And, it has to be made a connection from somebody else. So someone that can vouch for them really, is this person legit? Because nowadays there's just so many fakers out there renting cars, renting villas on fake private jets, saying like, hey, I'll add 10K monthly recurring revenue to your business. And it's like, no, you won't. Why wouldn't you do it yourself then? It's like there's a lot of bullshitters out there. So, when I'm start working with somebody new, it's always through a mutual friend.
So with me, I have 2 business partners. The first one I met when I was doing a graffiti commission. That I used to paint graffiti murals as my hobby. I used to be a bit of a tagger, isn't what we call it, but I'm going to say that because none of the graffiti lads are going to be listening to this. Yeah, I was a vandal, right? And I had a business partner, and he built the first shop, was a carpenter, high end. Couldn't believe how quick we grew from 1 chair to 6. It was like never been done in this world. Credit to myself, but a lot of it was right place, right time, the aesthetic, the branding. Second business partner was a client of mine, Harry McCreary, legend. We're friends since
went for dinner. Went to Nobu with Harry about a few weeks ago.
I see it.
Chatting good things about you.
I know. He was telling me he might try and get Rob Lipsett on the team.
But man, it couldn't sew Marbella.
There we go. I told the plant to see it, and he goes, oh man, this is going to turn into a business meeting. But Harry's a great partner and a friend, and I'm like, why would you not do business? Because my circle is so small, and it's a relationship of inconvenience in a way, because if you start something, you don't want it to ever finish, but you have to have a chat in case it goes differently or differences change. And so for me, my circle, I'm very lucky that I can make money with friends. But I love it that I can be friendly as well. I'm not this ruthless mogul. Like people think I'm like mad rich and all. Yeah. I'm wealthy in like this. Look at him. Mogul. Like no one even asked me for a selfie ever. Maybe I'm dying for. I'd be like paid people to ask me for selfies.
Paid actors, everyone on the street.
But for me, my circle is so sacred. And something I kind of wanted to chat to you about was, Well, you're now 31, but you just got engaged. And if you want to keep it personal, I know it's public.
No, man. I love talking about this. And so a quick one. When I first started, on YouTube and social media, it was strictly just informative videos. And if you want to build a personal brand, I can talk about calories and macros all day.
Lifestyle.
People want to know your lifestyle of how they want to know what you're up to.
Yeah.
Or else you're just like any other personal trainer, Joe Blogs down the street. So exactly. I'm everyone's got big biceps now. It doesn't cut it. So they want to know what you're like and what you're up to. So please ask away.
Yeah. So like for me, what I see, of course, I am a follower and a subscriber, and I literally see every video you put up. My ritual is after I've gone to the gym, I'm eating eggs, 4 eggs, 2 slices of brown toast and a black coffee. I love the ritual of sitting down watching a video of yours.
I'm the exact same with other people.
It's informative. I like to see somebody do well. I'm very positive. I just think you gave out great information. But that is it. And a thing that a lot of people don't know is you set up what was your first, people might know, what was your first business? I think it was getting in with Raw after your own ebook, online coaches. Yes. What was your first collab or like many collabs that you've done? Can you remember them? Or can you tell us?
You've done your research. So it was Raw Gyms Academy. And
I remember how excited you were.
Yeah, and so that was wildly successful. That was like probably one of the biggest like cash injections I've had in my life. And so the thing is though with it was like physical. I had to be there.
Yeah.
So, I'm definitely an online guy. I love having my freedom. I love being able to travel, but it was a great project for the year or 2 years that we did it. And I was in Raw Gyms every day this week.
I see.
Me and the owner, John, are still super close. So that business, people are like, sometimes they think if you stop something, they're like, oh, something happened there or something bad. Not at all. We did really well. We coached loads of people to become trainers, which for me was the best feeling ever because I'm like, I'm the trainer who's training people.
Yeah.
I am the one who knocks.
Okay.
So that was an awesome feeling. And so at the moment, I'm actually putting together a resource for people online who want to kind of grow in the fitness industry.
So you're very comfortable doing this. I remember you did your own expo in the RDS.
Yeah.
I remember seeing it. I was like, what the hell? Like how old, like you're 31 now. So how old were you doing?
I
was
like 27.
And how well did it, like, no, I don't need to know like revenue, but like tickets.
Figures, yeah.
No, I mean like attendance.
800. It was crazy.
And
like
the
tickets are like €50. And then there was like 10 brands sponsoring it. And it was a grand to sponsor it. Flew in Christian, Max, everyone.
Yeah.
I'm comfortable saying this. That was one of the best days of my life.
I know, I see that, and I'm doing my own barber X. I feel like I'm not late to the party. I just love seeing people win, and I feel it only right because my self-confidence in business. There's so much hate in the barber world. They hate. Oh man, it's handbag stuff. When people are like slandering you online, people would book in fake haircut appointments with me. That's
not on.
They put in like fuck you, Sean at gmail.com. Like really, like letting you know.
Joking.
I'm not even kidding you.
That's evil.
But I know it's because I'm not like, if you're at the top of the mountain, you're not looking down on anybody else. You can't see anybody else. And I think of myself to be the top tier, not in a cocky way, in a very confident way, through the hard work and sacrifice I make. But with that, so you did a couple of side hustles. I remember you did collabs with Lynx, and you've done some huge ones, and now on to Fuel Cakes.
Yes.
So what gets you excited now with business? And like, it's very important to me. I want to know, like, okay, this is something I would say yes to if it makes sense. What is it more than money? Like what really makes you kind of want to work with a brand? You know what I mean? What's the dream brand to also collaborate with?
Yeah, so I've been very much married to Ghost and Alpha for a long time, and they treat me crazy well. I can't go into those numbers, because there's other athletes and ambassadors as well, but they treat me extremely well. I'm best friends, with the owners, and so I've gotten to the point where I don't have to like do these one-off brand deals with companies I don't care for.
You're loyal.
I'm not an influencer. I don't do these one-off brand deals. It's like the same way like. Who's an athlete you follow, like who just fought Anthony Joshua's with Under Armour. Yeah. I'm with Alphalete. It's not an influencer thing. It's like a contract. So I'm very lucky that I have those two brands that I work extremely well with since Alphalete since 2017, Ghost 2018. So that's them. So I said, they started with you, or you kind of started or supported you from that
The start.
Exactly.
Well, not the start of your journey, but from the,
they
infant
put a bet on
stage.
me early on. They said, I like this Lipsett stock. Hopefully it goes up.
Okay, and it's I think it is. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm one of their top earners in terms of they're athletes, they're ambassadors. So I'm delighted for that. And then so I said, obviously Alpha Lead is clothing, and then Ghost is supplements. So I said, I want to make a physical product. I want something that I can hold in my hand. I'm doing all this online digital products and events. I go, what's the next realm?
Yeah.
I go, I want to hold something. I go, what's something that you do? What's your first ever viral video on YouTube? How to make protein pancakes. And then I go, so I can't make supplements. I go, I'm going to make a food.
Okay.
And then so Christian made 3D energy drinks because he drank a White Monster every day. Max Tuning made sour strips because he ate Sour Patch every day. And I go, what's something that I make every day with like 20 ingredients all over the table? I'm gonna make a pancake mix because it's not gonna ruin my contract with Ghost. It hasn't been done before.
And it's in its own.
It's funky. It's cool. It's in its own bracket. And then we just sold out of stock pretty much completely last couple of days.
What?
So
Fuel cakes?
Really
Fuel
happy.
cakes,
Yeah, fuel cakes, yeah. And so really happy. And it's just like a cool product. And I think it's quite original because everyone in the fitness industry, the first thing you do is, I'll start making supplements. So I said, I'm going to make something a little bit different. So that's my most recent venture.
Wow.
And that's very much a passion project. My biggest earners and most profitable, always going to be digital products.
Okay,
That's how it is.
And you're pretty good with e-commerce and you're comfortable with the team behind you and stuff. That it's like how much, I suppose, how involved are you? Because I know from clients of mine who have 10, 15 businesses or whatever. I'm like, what's your biggest earner? What do you spend the most time on? And sometimes it's about literally, it could just be working super, like, what's the word look for? Like zoned in on one Zoom a week or one meeting a week and stuff like that. So do you have to do that a contract where you don't really have an admin day from the sounds of it? Every day could be different.
Every morning.
Is that what I'm
So funny enough, I'm in a kind of unprofessional. I hate emails. I'm always just like, everyone, I'm like, WhatsApp me. I'm just like, just WhatsApp me. And so I'm sending
voice notes or text?
I hate receiving voice notes, but I like giving them.
Okay.
So,
there we go.
I hate it, but so I'm...
Oh yeah, I'm the same. I hate voice notes, but I like sending... Yeah.
I listen.
That must be pretty common.
Yeah, it is. I'm like,
it's like a podcast. Well, no, I just say
if someone sends me a 3-minute voice note, I'm like, I'm listening to that next week.
Okay. So text Rob is basically...
Text me if you want to get on to me. But yeah, so WhatsApp is just the main way I communicate with, the app team, editors, videographers, and, I have a sales team as well, closers, appointment setters. There's a lot.
Whoa, okay. I thought I was busy, and I don't want to be a busy fool. 2024, I pretty much, I've seen a lot of influence from you, from me. Well, in my life, I just see how great a partner you are to Linda and to each other, I hope. And I seen you got engaged. Because I actually am interested. I just got engaged a few months ago, but it's not about me. I'd love to could you give us a little story of like, you know what, this is how I got the ring. I knew I was going to do it. And this is how it feels. Because a lot of people are interested. You're younger than me. I think it's admirable that you're so confident in this amazing human that you're like, I want to spend my life with you. So how could you kind of put that into your romantic version of that?
For sure. So, we've been together for 5 years, which is quite a long time.
Yeah,
that's half a
milestone.
Decade. And so I would love to be a family man. I want some Rob Lipsett Juniors.
Oh yeah.
And so
your own actual army.
Exactly, your own LF army. The real LF army. And
Yeah.
so I want to do that young. I want to be like a young jacked dad.
Okay.
I know that sounds funny, but I'm actually serious. Like, how impressive is it when you see this dad who's in really good shape and he's got a son? If I have a daughter, I'll accept that.
Of course, yeah. Okay, so we want a boy over here.
Yeah, we want a boy. But so I really want to start a family and start a family young.
That's beautiful.
And so I said, 5 years, I think this is a safe bet. And so I got the ring in bespoke diamonds, down by Grafton.
I was on till I went somewhere in Powerscourt, Cullen. I can't even think of it. But
Yeah,
whatever.
there's loads.
They're
anyways.
amazing. I seen the
Yeah, so got a nice big
the
rock.
process.
Yeah, and
were you told what rock to get?
Oh,
Were
yeah.
you shown? Because that's a
She showed
It's called
me
This Is
about a
the
year
Style.
ago.
Okay.
Yeah, the exact thing
She
to
planted
get.
the seed.
Yeah, the exact thing. So,
Okay.
I knew exactly
You didn't
what to
mess
get.
up.
Even the ring size and everything. I was
Oh,
like,
really?
Yeah. I was like, surprise.
It doesn't fit.
It's like, she was like, this is like ordering something online, you know, you get it. But one thing she didn't know when I was going to propose.
Of course.
And so we went to Positano and then Capri. And I was meant to do it on like the first night in Positano. And I just kept kind of bottling it.
Yeah.
You know, and then so we did 3 days in Positano and 4 in Capri. I said, you know what, Capri is like, you know, the big part of the trip. So I'm going to wait till the first night there. And then so I prop up the tripod. I say, hey, let's take a photo.
That's kind of normal.
That's normal.
Yeah, great. You have an out.
She's used to seeing the tripod constantly. So I said, you know, let's take a little timer picture. And then I said, oh, here, I know something that'll make this photo even better.
And is this on camera
this
for you?
is
Like
on
it's
camera.
recorded?
Yeah, it's recorded.
Okay.
So we have the uncut clip.
Can't wait to see. Well, that
the audio.
YouTube is going to go crazy on that one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then so she thought I was going to bring out like an Aperol spritz or something. And then I went in, got the ring, and like a big simp, got down on one knee.
I think it's beautiful
Yeah,
to
me
see,
too.
and great to see. Like enough people don't speak about how they want other people to do well. I sincerely mean that. If I want even the people who would hate on me, I'm like, man, you're just slowing your own happiness down and you're carrying that weight. I do therapy now.
What? No way.
I do. I've done therapy for the last 2 years. I kind of was a party animal DJ, as you might know. And we won't speak too much about that, but I am nearly drug free. I'm coming up to a year very soon. Now, I wasn't like I thought I had a problem with drugs, very party drugs, but it was more socializing. I just went, DJing work goes hand in hand with that, and it kills your fitness.
I wouldn't be able to do it, you know.
It's a core, and I know myself trying to get into shape and fitness, and I'm like, if I go out party and I'm up dancing till 4, 5, 6 in the morning, you are not right till Wednesday.
Oh my no! So
you know,
honestly,
it's a no-go. Really, I'm sure in your
yeah.
world.
When you think about it, right? So let's say you go out on Saturday, you come in on Sunday.
Couple of beers, you
come in on Sunday. The hangover hits on Monday, and then, like you said, not right till Wednesday.
Yeah.
And so with me, you know, I love a party. You know, everyone knows that I love going out, but I would.
Would you get energy from being out socializing? What's like an introvert and
no,
an extrovert?
I get energy from being on my own.
From being on your own. So you're an introvert.
Technically, yeah.
So am I technically, because I would DJ to like hundreds of people at all these festivals. And I'm like, but I'm actually not talking to them. I'm actually by myself enjoying the music. And I think that's where the alcohol came in and like partying, because I would, you know, do drugs and I'd be like, what is this void feeling? But it's the same with alcohol, and it's off the topic, but it's not. I want to talk to you about it sober. I want to try and go a lot more sober in 2024. I just watched a video, some really good information in your YouTube video. I think it's like 12 or 13 minutes long.
Yeah, it's good. I love those videos where I just sit down and
I can eat my first meal and be like, right, Rob, it's not like a Scorsese movie. It's good. I'm gonna lose, you know, my attention
It's kind of
span.
like you can just let it play and listen like a podcast.
Yeah.
But so a quick one on, you know, partying and going out. I love it. You know, I love going out, but I'm so
only
obsessed,
on special occasions.
I'm so obsessed with my fitness that it's one or the other. And if I didn't have the gym and fitness, I'd go off the rails. I truly would.
Yeah, well, that's very honest of you to say. And I did, and the people I was around, they're actually some really good people. But I know I'm like, wow, it's just, I'm not a bad person, but I would kind of have bad habits. And I just read Atomic Habits, the book.
Fantastic.
The highlighter was out. There's not many books I will reread, and that's one of them.
It's so easy to read as well.
It's so easy,
you know,
and
just like,
it's a maze, it's a must. But would you have any? There's no need. We can obviously link the video that we're talking about in this video and podcast, because I think it's so informative. If you weren't doing what you're doing, I don't know if you've ever answered this before. What kind of world would you be in? My dad was a chef in the army. He was very regimented, mad into fitness, used to run marathons. I haven't fell under the same bracket, but I've always kind of been in fitness. I used to play football, I used to play rugby, played snooker at a really good level. I've never been in show physique, and I want to get into it.
You wouldn't want to get that lean, you know.
I'm a happy man.
That's bad for you, you know. That takes away your fitness.
But like my dad and my mom are such hardworking people, and they gave me such great work ethic. Was it the same for you with your parents? Have you a good relationship, or did you get your work ethic from them? And would you have gone down similar career paths as them, or if you weren't doing fitness, or do you know what that would be like?
It's funny you mention that. My dad was in the army as well.
Okay,
Yeah,
right.
and
I think.
so-
Oh, sorry. I think I might have seen a uniform, something along the way. Yeah.
I was just with him about an hour ago. You know,
Amazing.
yeah. And so I went to join the army. I stayed the night in the Curragh.
Oh my God, my dad was in the yeah.
Yeah, and so I came, top ranks in all the fitness tests,
Like bleep tests kind of stuff.
Yeah, everything.
Push off.
Yeah, and the 3 mile runner, whatever it is, the aptitude test. But because my results from school were so bad,
No way.
they were so low. They said we can't, because they send you to college. They send you to like Galway or something.
yeah.
They're like, this idiot his results are so low. We literally can't take him
If you're in a crisis, Rob could lift ship, but like,
Yeah.
I don't know where the fucking helicopter is.
Exactly. yeah, it's like they're like Dudley Do right over here.
Like, this is the wrong town.
Yeah. We just invaded Roscommon. But so I would have, joined the army really.
Okay.
And so that could have been a path that I went. And if I had to like choose something that I would probably do out of choice, I know I kind of do it briefly in and out, but it would probably be something to do with events and PR and marketing.
Man, I think you would be the best like event planner or something. I could imagine.
I'm very organized,
Yeah,
and
if Rob's the man to get it done.
Yeah.
You just get shit done, Mr. Motivator.
I get people together. Yeah.
Yeah, I love doing that, and for me, 2024 is going. Well, I always think every year should be better. Life isn't like that. We all know shit happens. How do you come back from something, or have you got one major setback that you're like, fuck, man, this nearly broke me, or this didn't work out well that people might know, or has there been a major like a big bump in the road for you along the way so far that people haven't had a chance to maybe know or to see? They're like, because they follow you and see all the wins, but is there anything you might be like, not juicy, but like something you're like, this actually was a pretty crap year, or COVID, or has it been pretty much going like this? If it has, great. But do you think that's business? For me isn't like that. It's very much like up and down, and I don't post the crappy days, but I verbalize and story it, and I think I'm very transparent. But has there been a big bump in the road for Rob?
There's been so many, and people think like, sometimes you can just have a bad
DJ Khaled winning all the time. That's not life.
Not the case. Like, just one of the scariest moments ever was, one day I'm at home. This is before I moved to Marbella, and my mum walked in, and she's got a bald head. And she goes, I got cancer. She was trying to hide it from me for so many months wearing a wig.
Oh, man.
She didn't want to tell me. So, people don't know. That's just an example of some of the things that goes on behind the scenes. And I was like, it was like seeing a ghost. I got the biggest fright. And so, it's crazy. And then like, you'll make mistakes. You'll work with the wrong people. You'll lose tens of thousands of euros, and you'll make huge mistakes, but you just got to keep on going. Like what's your choice? No, like seriously, what's your choice? So when people are like, "How do I keep going?" I'm like, "What the fuck else are you gonna do?" Like seriously,
sit there and
all right, have a little cry for an hour.
Yeah, you're okay to feel down.
I often do when shit goes wrong. Have a day, whatever. But what's your other option? You're just going to stay there forever? No. So like, that's just how my mind thinks. I go, I can stay.
Do you get dark days? Like I'm lucky that I don't suffer with any mental health. I actually suffer with like session depression, they call it.
Oh yeah. Well,
or like if we all go to like, I don't know, if like EP for the weekend, you're a broken man for a week afterwards.
Your brain chemicals are gone.
You're just drained all the fun out and you're empty. And I would love people to see it, because I think you're someone I do look up to. And it's you've got a lot of knowledge to give to people, and people mightn't see it. There goes, it's win-win-win. But for me, I have dark days where I'm like, I just don't feel right. What kind of gives you that? Like sometimes putting on some 80s music, the Rocky soundtrack, getting out for the best thing I've done is going for a hike. I've taken nearly all the drugs in the world. Actually, not all the drugs in the world, a lot of them. And what goes up must come down. But for a
borrowed
hike,
energy.
You're borrowing tomorrow's happiness today, and you feel like shit the next day. But a hike for me has been the best medicine. It's something that I want to go into next year. I've seen what's the lady's book, Roz Purcell's The Hike Life. I need to get that, because it's the hikes in it I'm dying to do. I've just learned how to learn. I'm 36, I know. But like what does get you out of a slump if you get into one?
So thankfully, one of the reasons why, I don't really get like depressed is because my whole lifestyle is based around feeling good. Okay. So I'm nailing the main things, over and over again. Like anyone listening to this right now, okay, I challenge you, right? Maybe you do have some serious problems,
of course,
and fair enough, that's that. But the majority of your problems can be solved. This is so basic, I don't care. Majority of your problems, if you go have an insane gym session, you make a healthy meal, you sleep for 8 hours, you hydrate, you get out in the sun and get out in nature. Watch 80% of your problems disappear.
Like that.
And everyone knows that. You know,
we just don't, we don't use it.
Things,
Yeah, well, no, I suppose I'm getting so much amazing information online, but I also am guilty to, I can't think of this doctor's name. I'll link it anyway later, but he gives out all of these. Want to feel better?
James DiNicolo.
Dr. James.
I see you liking his post the whole time.
And I'm like, okay, if this guy's, and I always look at, if you want to see positive stuff online, I follow and I only watch, and I've unfollowed anyone that's given me a negative comment, anyone that doesn't support me or anything. I encourage people to follow people who bring out the best in them, give out the best advice. I mightn't always take it, but I actually have the information. I know this. I'm like, wake up, have a pint of water, get out the sunlight first thing in the morning.
Yes, yeah, that's something I only really learned about in the last year, and that makes a big difference.
Is all the information. I'm so precious with it. I could definitely do better for next year. Not to I want to know what is kind of up your sleeve next. Is there something that you can tell us, or what's something that kind of getting you going for next year? Because when we release this, it will be 2024, and people are going to be like, oh my God, this is what he said he was going to do, and it's happened. What's coming up?
So next year is all about me going back to my roots and going all in on YouTube. In recent years,
hitting that 500,000.
Yeah, exactly. I need that.
Yeah, let's go, baby. Follow, subscribe.
Yes, exactly. So with the house, building the Marbella villa, that was a huge distraction. I'm saying that in a good way.
Yes.
And then there's been other things, setting up the app, setting up fuel cakes took a lot of time.
Big year.
Now that everything is set in place, I'm going back to my roots and doing what is kind of the main thing for me, and that's YouTube. It's not Instagram.
Okay.
It's not TikTok. It's YouTube. That's the biggest return for me.
Wow, and I mean, that's correct. What's, for anyone that's trying to get big on social or follow, is there just, that's your DNA, that's where you started, kind of?
Yeah, exactly.
So was Instagram after YouTube?
Yeah, because YouTube's the hardest to build. And so the fact that, I've got this channel that's so close to 500,000, I'm like, I can't waste that. I need to really utilize that as much as possible. Like just sitting on gold there. That's the way you can reach so many people, and you can change so many lives.
People aren't watching telly, and like I would follow yourself. Fuck, that's delicious. Action Bronson. I find myself watching food videos all the time, as you said. And I'm working. That's why I loved all his. He goes to the gym, like Action Bronson. I'm like, people who I like to follow, what food is he eating?
Something that makes you feel good. I feel, right, and this is a big one, right? How shit do you feel after scrolling TikTok for 20 minutes? You're like, that was killing my brain cells. But then imagine then you watch like a really informative YouTube video, a positive vlog. You're like, oh, I feel amazing. So the comparison between mindless scrolling on TikTok and sitting down and watching some long form on YouTube, night and day.
Do you think?
I think king of the apps.
Yeah, there you have it. I feel like nobody really watches telly anymore. It's just because they have everything like this, and it's like, I don't know. Who would you recommend? Who would be your top 3 people to follow? You're definitely in my top. You're probably my top 1. That sounds fake, but it's not. My top 1.
I wish.
You go to Shield subscribers. Yeah. You're not following me. I am, of course. But who would you say to follow? I follow yourself, Action Bronson, Casey Neistat. I don't really know too many more. There's other fitness blogs like Shred Bundy and stuff like that.
Joe is amazing.
Man, I've just seen his content because of you. I have seen the difference. I remember him when he had long hair. He's like this short skin fade kind of thing now, and like the editing looks insane.
He just
people like that
took
you should
6
follow.
months to like just completely revamp his editing, and it's paid off so much.
I'd be very aware of that and stuff, and I'm like, holy shit. But yeah, who would you say to follow, or anyone that you think they should follow on Instagram or something like that? Dr. James.
Yeah, DiNicolo. Yeah, we follow each other. I need to get him on podcast. Actually, he'd be brilliant. He's like a doctor.
People in your field.
Exactly. So I follow, him, for example. Andrew Huberman is great. Lex Friedman is great. Joe Rogan, of course.
Yeah,
the
king.
Podcast, just the king. And then I'll go to like those guys, and then I'll just kind of see what guests they have on, and I'll go in kind of, a bit of a monkey branch from all them. And so with those like 3 or 4 guys, I'll find great people.
Okay, well, amazing. My kind of last question for you, because it's been an absolute honor. Me and you could talk here for like, there'll definitely be hopefully a part 2.
The sun's going to start coming up now in a minute.
There'll be customers coming into the shop. For me, my mantra would be dangerous when focused. And where that came from pretty much was like when I put my mind to something, I can be extremely dangerous. So when I get into this flow state of focus, nothing can touch me. And it's just something that every person that I've done, I did a print, I did merch, everything. This should be like its own thing. I think it could be bigger than anything I've done. That's why I'm doing the podcast. I can see my own book. I'm going to do my own book. I actually have it laid out already into the chapters. I know how the cover is going to look. What does dangerous and focus mean to you? Or is there anything that you kind of use, your own mantra? Because I know you might have some gold for us.
So we think of the word dangerous and we think it's a bad thing. It's a great thing.
Okay.
No man should be harmless. No man should be weak. No man should be a bitch. You want to be dangerous. So the only way you can get dangerous is when you're focused. So that's why I love it so much.
Yeah.
You know, when I see that written on the wall. So, you know, get in the zone, get concentrated, get dangerous. That's what it means to me.
Wow. Okay. Amazing. Rob, it's been an absolute pleasure. Guys, where can we find you? Obviously, we know. We'll link in the description below, as Rob says. I don't want to rob your tagline. But where would you like people to go? YouTube first, maybe?
Yeah, YouTube first. Just Rob Lipsett, Lipsett.
Yeah.
And, you know, same on all platforms. Same username across the board. So that's where you'll find me.
Amazing, Rob. It's been my pleasure, man. Thank you so much for your time.
Appreciate it so much, Shawnee.
Legend. Whoa!